morning, guys. Between our frame rails, we got 36 inches of stock. And this is what I've come up with so far. Now this may not be how it turns out, but we're going to 10 inch, 45 it, drop down 6 inches, 45 or 4 inches, back up 6 inches over to 10. That should give us our 20, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36 inches of stock. Now we're going to make it out of this DOM. I don't have any way to bend it, so we're going to 45 it, weld prep it, and just weld it all together. Because you're going to have something narrow. I want something tucked up under the frame, up under the body where nothing can touch. And plus to give us our length to get our angle right. It's still going to be tight. I mean, it needs to be, it basically, it's going to be tight, but we'll figure it out. We have to, I'll get a piece of 10 inch, cut off the first piece and put it under there and see where that ladder bar is going to roll. If it was something else, we could put it up on the top side of it, but there's just not enough room under these. So I'll be the guinea pig to figure out where to put this. What I'm going to do, see this spot here? That little run there? We're going to follow that over right here below the drive shaft and drop it down and try to figure out how to make it bolt in or weld in. I don't know yet. But I'm going to go start cutting on it, on that tubing. We're going to cut a piece to go to here, then we're going to make it drop down, go underneath the drive shaft, go back up and back over. But we get the first piece cut out. We'll cut it at say a 45 or 30 degree angle to drop it down to keep it kind of as straight as we can. But this is going to be tricky to get this right. I thought about running it up here and attaching it to the cross member also, but I don't know. Let's try this. Hopefully we ain't wasting the whole 1.5 inch stick of DOM. I'll make it work and not gonna waste it. Alright, I'm gonna start cutting on it. Get my I don't have an angle finder anymore. I lent it to somebody. I don't remember who I lent it to, but we'll set this up like a 45 degree angle and start cutting them and see what we come up with. That's all we can do. This is just something we're gonna have to, you know, roll with it. But we should have enough stock to make this. And we'll jig it up when we go to weld it together. I got some big 5/8 thick straight bars under here. We'll jig it up to that where it stays straight, and we can align it on this bar. I got the DOM, that, and I also got some square tubing, but the square tubing is too thick, too big, and it's thin wall too, so I think that DOM would be fine. See, that's thin wall stuff. I don't really want to use that. So here we go. We'll see where we go with it. I'm going to start cutting on this piece. Just eyeballing it, level at the top. Try 45 degrees. There. Yep, that'll what we'll do. 45 degrees. That's why I like the bandsaw. We don't have to go cool it off and put it through a bunch of heat cycles before we weld on it, anything. And it's clean, it cuts clean, there ain't no kind of, you know. Alright, let's go lay it out, see where we go from here. Alright, we got our other two pieces out, cut out. It's gonna be lighter when it goes to 45, but it's all good. I'll show you what to do with that. I'm gonna put a little gusset on it anyway. Now we need to measure our length again to get this piece. Tell you what. Let's get our length. We need to be 31 1/4. It's 31 1/4. If you don't have time to do it right, don't do it. Wait till you have time to do it right. If we got it a little long, because we're going to have about a 1/4 inch bracket on there, but we can always lop a little bit off the ends, but you don't want to be looking for metal. You don't want to read the tape wrong. There's that, close enough. Now, piece to go in here. We changed our length of this from 6 inches to 5 inches. Like I said, that bottom measurement's going to be wrong, so it should change an inch. And it did. It's 5 inches. So we got 5, 5, and 5. 5 inches with a 45, 5 inches with a 45 at the tip, 5 inches here, and then 10, and you know, like 10 and a quarter, maybe 10 and a half, 10 and a half, 10 and a half, 5, 5, 5. Alright, let me go cut a 5-inch piece to go in there, and we'll put that in there, see what it's going to look like. That's going to have to work. Now it's going to be lower than the drive shaft, but it's fine. You know, you don't have to, if it's a 4-bar setup, if it's a 4-link, you want everything to be the same angle as the drive shaft. So when it pivots at the yoke, your pinion stays with the drive shaft, like so. But this, you know, this setup, and it's not going to do that. As long as we can get it up under there and it's a little lower than the drive shaft, then we can protect the drive shaft with it and it'll do its job. I think we're going to go with this right here. Now I'll probably make a gusset off camera, just a small gusset to go down in here, right there, to kind of box that in, just to make it a little bit stronger in that joint right there. But I'm going to weld the shit out of it, so it ain't going to go nowhere, but we'll see when I get it done. I'm going to jig it up on a piece of 5/8 by, 5/8 by 4-inch wide stock that I have. I'm going to jig it up on there and weld it all together, and I'll let y'all see it when I get done with it. But that's how you would set something up like that. Use your 45-degree angles. They work good, you know, and they match each other. If you stay with the same angle, when you're building a roof rack, the same thing. 45-degree angles and is what always works out good to me. I mean, you can use any angle as long as you stick with that angle. Yeah, this would be better if we could bend it into that shape, but we don't have any way to do that. And this will work good. It's that thick of tubing, so I don't think it's going nowhere. Plus, it's going to be backed up by that bracket that goes underneath the back seat. It's going to be pushing up against that too if it was to move. But we're going to put a gusset right here and gusset that up. And we may gusset this up down here, down there. I'll see what it looks like when I get it welded together. Anyway, one more look at it before I weld it. I'm going to go jig it up and start welding on it. Well, the whole video today might be making a truss, but that is some badass stuff. It's heavy too. So we're going to jig it up. Sorry. I'm going to jig it up on this where it's flat and it'll stay flat. And start putting welds on it. I'll get it laid out and let me put y'all about right here. We got our 31 1/4 width. Everything's symmetrical in line, straight with the back side of that piece, and then measuring from here to there. So now I'm gonna clamp it, tack it. I'm gonna get under there and measure one more time, but then I'm gonna get up there, get here and tack it all together, and then we'll clamp it down and weld it up. Alright guys, I got it tacked. It's tweaked a little bit, so I'm going to weld it in a manner to pull it back where I want it. Okay, I'll get it done and then we'll come back. Alright, here we go again. Had to move it in. Wind and a MIG welder don't mix. Alright guys, just a quick deal here. Just like on the tube on the front end, whatever, it's going to warp all up on you like bow and twist. You just got to press it down, submit it into position, and then weld it back up. Then when we get done, we might have to tweak it a little bit. Let it cool off. Let's see what we got. I know a lot of you that do a lot of weldings be like, that damn thing's gonna be warped all to hell. It probably will be. It did lift a little bit off the table right there. Make it get another clamp while it's hot and clamp it down flat again, and go from there. Alright, we got her. Probably should have tacked it to those metal bars, but it's just a cross member. It's just going to be holding that ladder link. That's it, the ladder bar. So I'm going to start messing with making some gussets to go in the corners out here and in here, and let it cool down while I'm doing that, and then I'll weld it all up. That's like a root pass there. I'll weld the whole thing up again, and we'll be ready to put it on. We'll start fabbing up the mounts to put it in the Jeep. We're gonna have to make it removable so we can get the rear end out. I mean the transfer case out. Alright guys, I'll bring y'all back when I get something else done. Well guys, the wind's sort of wanting to blow like crazy. But I got that part done over there. If you're going to build one, get 1.5 by 1.5 quarter wall square tubing. I was trying to use what I had. It made it's just harder to handle it because it's round and it doesn't want to sit where you put it, type of thing. We're going to cut this in half. That's going to be our mounts for the chassis, and I'll get that cut out and I'll bring y'all back here in a little while. Just a sneak peek. We're getting somewhere. I'm going to go put it under the Jeep, get our position for this, weld that on, paint everything, and get ready to put it on the body, on the subframe. I'll bring y'all in, see how this goes. I got the cross members done. It's prepped underneath the Jeep. Exhaust is out. We'll make our bars. I'm gonna do this while the paint's drying on it. Get one more clamp on there. That cross member took a while. Usually it's better to buy them type of things already bent. I wish I'd have did that now because I've been most of the day on that. I mean, I'm not really in a hurry, but you know, it's almost worth it to buy it already bent into the shape you want and stuff. Center it up this way. Oh, I forgot I had it zoomed in. Center it up here, and then half of the 2-inch saw for a 2-inch pipe. Now how this is going to work, I have no idea. We're fixing to find out. Lock my table. Let me back y'all up because it's probably stupid like that. Not too bad. The table's moving. Let me lock the table. That drill press goes too fast is what I'm worried about. Alright, I ain't gonna make y'all listen to that. Cut it out, I'll bring it back. Well, y'all should have heard all that racket. It worked, but damn. That was brutal. It really cut it really good though. Believe it or not. It was just loud as hell. Alright, let me get it out of there and we'll go from there. Here's how it turned out. That little saw did pretty good. Believe it or not. It was noisy as hell, but it did it. Let me go through. You know, when you get real deep into a project and you start losing crap, I'm at that point right now. About to have to stop and clean up and start over. Let me go find the end. I located it. It's a good fit. I think so. Gotta kind of tap it in there. That'll work. Alright, I'm gonna come around. I'm gonna come right here with the grinder or something and make me a weld prep all the way around there. When I lay that weld in there, like I said, on the other, it's got somewhere to go and it won't look so goobered up. Alright, I'm gonna go do that and then I'll weld it up and I'll bring y'all back. Believe it or not, guys, that's the first time I've ever used a hole saw to do this. Usually just do it with a grinder, but I did it with the hole saw, mostly for y'all, because that's the correct way to do it. But you can do it with a grinder. You just have to keep fitting it if you don't have a hole saw. I've never used a hole saw to do it, so. Alright, I got it prepped for weld. There's some kind of oil they put on this too. We're going to hit it with some carburetor cleaner just to get that out of there, because I want this weld to be good. There's going to be a lot of pressure on this bitch. Get it down in here too, because it'll wash it, it'll pull it out of there. Okay, let that dry. And there it is. Alright, I'm going to get the welder on it and then we'll see what it looks like when I get done. This is better steel than that small tubing was. I think that'll work. Alright, I'm going to flip it over, weld it all up, and carry on. I've discovered a problem with my insulation. It reflects back behind my welding helmet. So I don't know what we're going to do about that other than not welding here, which I usually don't, but it's damn windy outside. I can't weld out there. It caused me all kind of problems with that truss. I mean with the cross member. I hope y'all can see that through there. See the blue inside there? That's what you want to see. Good penetration. But that's there. Alright, that's the lower link. I'm going to do the upper link with a piece of that. And we'll put them both in there. I'll probably go ahead and cut that one about half the length of this one. And then we'll fit it to wherever it needs to be. And I'll just stick this one in first. At least get it up there where it needs to be. But I can go ahead and weld the end on that one and get it while I'm waiting on paint to dry. But yeah, we got to do something with that. Either that or get me a bandana to put behind my head when I'm welding. It gets to where you can't see when it starts coming in behind the helmet, and it can burn your eyes. Alright, I'm gonna carry on. Anywho. Just have to go slow with it. I was trying to go too fast because y'all was watching me. Alright, I'm gonna carry on. If you want to avoid that, I just had to touch them is basically all I had to do. Put a little washer between here and here when you clamp your brackets in to weld them to the housing. I forgot to do that, so what I got to do, belt sander of some sort. If you don't have a belt sander though, you're going to be in trouble. So next time, if any of you guys do that, take a washer and put on each side of it, then clamp it into your bracket and then weld it all in. It was a little tight. I think this is going to be the most random video ever made, but you got to jump all around to let things cool, like I said in the last one. Let things cool and do what you move to something else. Well, prep that. We're going to stick that in there. See if you can see that. Yeah. We're not going to butt it up like this. We're not going to do that. I'm going to pull it out just the width of that weld prep there. And we'll roll it all the way up into there. So that's what I'm going to do next. The cross members under the Jeep, and they're fitting the lower link. I'll show y'all when I get it in there. It's not welded in yet because it's been real windy all day. I just got it tacked for now till the wind dies down. Probably be next week sometime when I do all that, but that's my plan for that. I might take this prep and make it a little bit wider, make it about a 1/4 inch wide, and then weld it on there. I'll show y'all when it's done. I'll try not to move the camera where it ain't a whole different angle. Hear that piece of shit? That Harbor Freight grinder is gutless. I mean gutless. They work, but the saw's okay. The grinders, not so much. Yeah, I like that better. I think we're going to roll with that right there. Alright, let's make it one. Alright boys, I'm whooped. That is it. Done. Out of gas. See there? What time is it? It's probably about 5 o'clock. I started on at 8 again this morning. Let's see here. 4:47. It wouldn't have took so long. I should have just bought a cross member. I don't like the cross member. I mean, it'll work, but it just took too much time to make it. I could have just ordered one. I've never made one out of tubing before. I went ahead and put paint on it where it wouldn't rust. We got our shackles straight up and down. The suspension's loaded. All we got to do now is make our top bar. So I'll do that next week or next weekend, grind off a spot. You know, bad thing about my Jeep being outside is I have to paint all this stuff before I go in, or it'll be rust when I come back out. But that's how all that turned out. Goes over to, that's why I want to use the small bar, because the exhaust. I'm going to have to put a hanger on it right there, because it's about a 1/4 inch bumping it, and I don't want to listen to that bang, 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 bang under there. Y'all know the noise I'm talking about. It'll drive you crazy. I'm gonna weld it to the subframe. I picked this spot here at the seam here, and where I could tie it into the rock sliders. There should be plenty of clearance there with the drive shaft. There's a good 4 inches there, maybe more than that. But we'll flex all that out, and if it don't work, we'll cut it out and fix it, but I think it'll be fine. I'm out of gas, or I'd flex it and see. Everything went pretty much, you know, I spent 4 hours at least on that cross member, but I wanted to be able to run the exhaust without changing it and all that stuff, so that's why we put it where it's at. If we ran it on up there to the yoke, which if it was a 4-bar setup, we'd have to do it like that, but we'd have brackets over here hooked to them. But this ought to work good. And it's lower than the drive shaft all the way to about the yoke. The yoke sticks down a little bit, but it's all good. It'll work. You strive for excellence and you come out with mediocre, but you got to strive for excellence. And there's some things I would have liked to did differently and better, but it'll work the way it is. There's no problems with the cross member. It's nice and beefy. It's just a bitch to build it, because it took a long time, and it kept tweaking on me and stuff because it's round pipe. I should have just got some 1/2 inch quarter wall square tubing. Let me put y'all in there where you can see it. That'll work. I like it. We'll put our top bar in. We'll probably come off the top bolt up here, come down, or right here where we was, we'll see, and come down to about, let's see, probably about that line right there, straight down to there. It's going to be a short bar, but we'll run it probably to the top and down. That way it's got more of a angle on it, it'll make it stronger. But the only thing about the Ruff stuff kit, yeah, it's strong stuff, but all of it's heavy as hell. It doesn't sound like it's no big deal, but man, you wrestle that stuff around trying to weld on it, it gets old quick. I've never made any link bars out of nothing that big. I think that right there would last underneath a monster truck with deuce and a halves under it. Which everything, you know, it's overbuilt, but it'll be there. It'll rip it off the body before it tears that up. But we're gonna brace it back up to the. I've always wanted to weld these on anyway, so we're gonna come straight across here with a gusset and weld it to this. Because if I ever wreck the Jeep or it gets destroyed somehow, I'll just cut all this crap off, put it on another one. But, I think that'll work, guys. We probably could have went a little bit lower with that, but I wanted that pivot point in the center of that. You know, it's not terrible. It's about how I wanted it, but that's as high up as you can take that. Now if we'd have moved it further on up this way, it would have made it lower. So, you know, the further up, the longer the bar, the lower it's going to come down. So ideally it probably would have went right up in this area to get it at the right angle, or shorten the shackle. But I did put the bracket this way instead of straight down, as y'all can see. Anyway, boys, we're getting there. The front end won't be half as bad as that rear end was. It's done though. Hey, it ain't bad. I mean, I enjoy doing it. You know, you just get wore out. I don't stop. I got out here at about 8:30 this morning. I haven't stopped to eat. Hadn't stopped to drink any. Well, the old lady's been bringing me Coke, but I haven't stopped all day. That's how I operate, especially when it's just me, you know, and out here hammering on it. It was fun. I enjoyed doing it. The only thing that was a pain in the butt was that cross member, but if I'd have made it out of square tubing, it would have been a piece of cake. But I didn't have any, and I wasn't going to go get none, and you know, wear on a Sunday. So it's fight the tubing and make it work. Anywho, wind's been blowing like crazy all day. I haven't been able to come out here and weld nothing. Been having to take everything back in. Yeah, that lower link could have been a little bit lower, but I don't care. It'll work. I didn't want it hanging down to catch on stuff. All we're doing is keeping the axle from wrapping. It ain't gonna wrap now. There ain't no damn way. It'll probably drive better. I thought about putting a track bar on it, just because it's so high up. It wants to get a little, you know, fishtaily on the highway sometimes. I'm thinking about putting a track bar on it just to keep the rear end in position where it's supposed to be. Y'all let me know what you think about that. I've never seen a leaf ring truck with ladder bars on, with a track bar on it. But with those shackles and the little bit of play and everything, I mean, it's not a lot, but we'll probably drive it first and see. But if it's a little fishy like it used to be, you couldn't go, if you're going 70 miles an hour in this thing, it was hold on, white knuckling it. But you could do it, it didn't feel too comfortable. And most of it was this rear end. But moving it back is going to help that a lot. So maybe it'll be better. If not, it's all good. I drove it all the way to North Carolina like that, and you know, so you just got to go 60, 65 and it's fine. It rides smooth then. If you get up around 70, it wants to wobble with you. Not wobble, but you know, the ass end wants to do that number. Which I ain't planning on driving that far anyway, I'm just saying. Alright guys, I don't know if this movie's going to be 3 hours long or not, but I'll post it up. Y'all take it easy. We'll holler at y'all later. Bye. Alright guys, it's about 6 o'clock. I had to go in and take a break. But we got it in there. I don't know how the videos are going to be, but we still got stuff to do. It's not done. I had to go ahead and paint it where it wouldn't rust up on me. That's how that turned out. We still got to do gussets. Boy. Yeah, that's old man grunt. We still got to put a gusset here, a gusset here, a gusset here, a gusset over here to box this thing in a little bit. It is thick metal, but I want to make sure it's there when I'm done with it. So we're going to gusset it. Probably a pretty big gusset right here. And in here. And in here. Anyway, that's how it turned out. Oh, it is freezing today. It's 68 degrees and Florida's cold. That's our shackle. It's sitting in there good. We got plenty of adjustment, but the suspension's loaded, so that's where it needs to be. We ended up moving it back some for the exhaust and all that stuff. It'll work right there. Anyway, I thought I'd show it to y'all real quick. Still got to make the upper bar, but we'll get back on it.